Hi everyone, this is Terry. Well, we have a family of rabbits that live behind our house, so I thought today what I would do is create a decorative fill with rabbits. Let me show you how I did that. The first thing you'll want to do is go to Option and go to Programmable Stitch Creator. And you can go into Programmable Stitch Creator and you can create motif fills. You can also create stamps and then decorative fills. We'll choose decorative fill. And the first thing I want to show you is on the View tab. On the View tab, you can change the size of the axes. You can see that here. This is a 4 by 4 square, roughly, or 3.94 by 3.94, or 100 millimeters each way. And one thing about the guidelines, let me go to Home and I will choose Draw a Line. Whenever you have these grid patterns on, you'll notice that what happens is that the points automatically snap to that grid that you have. So if you want to create something that has rounded edges, you want to reduce the size of the grid. So let me clear the screen by choosing Undo. And one of the things that I want to do is to go ahead and move my, well, first of all, we'll start out where we can see the grid because I want to make something in this quadrant first. So the first thing I need to do is to open the template. And you can see this. I have two different little rabbit designs that I downloaded. We'll choose this one and I'll choose OK. And now what I want to do is I want to move it over into a corner and I'm going to make it a little bit larger so that I have something large enough to see to work on. Now you can also adjust the image, and I need it to be dark so that I can go ahead and lay these points. Now I do want to reduce this grid, and the reason I want to is I don't want it to snap to any of those lines. So I'll go ahead and click Home and choose Draw a Line. Now you need to decide where you want to start, and I think what I'll do is I'll start right here at this point near the back of the foot. So I'll go ahead and start clicking points. And when you have curves, you need to add more points versus less. Otherwise, you'll end up with just straight looking lines. So I'm just trying to follow the shape of the body, and every time I get to a place and I'm stopping, I am left clicking. And if you hear a noise in the background, we're having a storm here today, so you may hear the thunder. So I can always adjust these nodes and move them, and I'll show you that in a moment. So I'll just continue to clicking points. And we're almost done. Double click to end. Okay, now this is where you can go back to View and you can reduce that background image a bit so you can still see it, but so that you can see your line. And actually this is looking pretty good. Let's go to Home. I see a couple of points that I want to edit. So I'll choose Select Point and just click. And now you can see all the nodes that I laid down. So every place you see a square, that's where I clicked. So I wanted to adjust this point right here on the tail. If I wanted to delete the node while it's highlighted, I would right click and choose delete. I really don't want to delete the node though, because I like the look of it. And right now I'm satisfied with that. And you can also take a node and move it. You can see here I've moved that node out, and that almost makes it look like a rat, doesn't it? Let's move that back down. And so now we have our rabbit. And now what I want to do is to go ahead and choose Select All so that I can see it. I no longer need the image, so what I can do is go to View and choose Delete. That gets rid of the background template. And now what I want to do is I want to duplicate this. So I'll choose Duplicate. And while it's duplicated, I'll just move it over. And what I did is I reduced the size of some of my rabbits so that they weren't all the same size. And let's say I want to add more. All I can do is I can hold down my left mouse button, and now I can duplicate again. If I wanted them to be going the opposite direction, or I want to flip them, I can do that. You can see I flipped them vertically. I can flip them horizontally. If I don't like that, I can choose Undo. So let's undo again. I can also rotate this by choosing to rotate the box if I wanted to do that. I really don't want to do that either. So we'll go ahead and just move that second set. When we get the white arrows, we'll have it. And we'll move these over so they're offset a bit. And let's say that I like that. I might want to move the top ones up some. And I'm happy with that. So let's save it. So we'll choose File, Save As, and I've already have 2 sets of rabbits, so we'll call this Rabbit 3. And you notice that the default size, you can have it in millimeters or inches. I have 100 millimeters, which is 3.94 inches. All right, so now that that's been created, we no longer need the Programmable Stitch Creator. So now what I'll do is I'll choose File, New, and we won't save the changes. And to keep with the theme with the rabbit and the eggs, we'll go ahead and create an ellipsis for an egg, and here's that. And I want it to have a running stitch on the outside, or I can make it another stitch pattern if I want, such as, let's say, a stem stitch. But the region sew on the inside, I do want that to be a no-sew line, and the reason for that is I'm going to fill this. So we'll create a background fill. When you create a background fill, remember you need to click in the area that you want to fill. We'll go to Decorative Fill, and we'll look for that pattern of that rabbit that I created. My patterns are at the end. You can see that I have 3 different sets of rabbits. And now I can make some changes. So if I want to, I can make this fill pattern larger or smaller. One of the things you want to do is to test stitching this out, because when you create something like this, you're going to be actually creating some very small stitches, and you'll probably have thread cuts at the end of these stitches. So I would definitely try this out and stitch it out just to make sure that you're satisfied with it. Now I like the look of that, so I'll go ahead and choose OK. And let me show you another thing. You can also go in and change it here. So you notice I changed it to 4.25 inches, and I have maintained aspect ratio. I can change the angle, like if I wanted these to be at a different angle, I could do that. And I can adjust the run pitch. Let's go back and change to millimeters. The run pitch right now is 2.0. That's short, but given the shape of this, I'm going to leave it at 2.0. You can also adjust random shift, which will skew or distort the design. Let me show you what it looks like. And actually, that's kind of interesting. I like it, so I'll leave it like that. So this is how to create this decorative fill. Now let's watch it stitch out. So we'll use the stitch player, and let's slow it down a little bit so you can actually see the stitch out. So you can tell that you're probably going to have trims everywhere that you have these stitches. And that may not be the case. It depends on the machine type. So what I would say is stitch it out and play with it and see if you like it. I hope this video has been helpful to you. If you like my videos, please like and share. And consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, Just Stitching with the Brother Luminaire. Thanks everyone, and have a great day.